what is up, all you lonely watchers out there? One of my favorite things to learn about a character is their quirks. Things like their interests, their stims, or even the unique ways they talk. A common way characters are given a unique speech pattern in anime is the verbal tic. This is a short phrase or even nonsensical word that a character punctuates their sentences with, or occasionally drops in the middle of sentences. These are often used as a shorthand to convey character traits like seriousness, cuteness, laziness, etc. Yokai Watch characters, or at least the yokai themselves, have these tics in spades. Today, I thought we could take a look at and break down some of the most popular and interesting verbal tics in the series, starting with Jibanyan. Jibanyan's verbal tic in Japanese is nyan, the onomatopoeia word for the sound cats make. Jibanyan almost always punctuates his sentences with the nyan sound, as well as sneaking the nya sound into normal words when possible. This verbal tic is so strong, he even retains it during the transition to Shadow Side. This particular tic is also often shared by other cat yokai. In the English version, he still makes the nya sound in normal words occasionally, but he doesn't end his sentences with nyan or meow. He does occasionally say meow in his speech, such as in one of his catchphrases.
Jibanyan! I'm pretty busy right now.
This makes sense considering he's a cat. Whisper, on the other hand, has the verbal tic wisu in Japanese, which is merely a play on his own name. This more so ties into his self-absorbed personality, as opposed to what he is. His tic also beautifully contrasts his very erratic tone and voice range whenever he speaks. In English, Whisper is instead given a very pompous butler accent to convey this character trait.
I am a yokai, that thing you humans call a ghost, spirit, or an extra-dimensional being.
Whisper and Jibanyan's fusion form in Yokai Watch the movie, Buchinyan, accordingly has the verbal tic nya-wis when speaking in unison. But they revert to their specific verbal tics when speaking separately, which isn't common. Koma-san and Komajiro, on the other hand, have a really cool and unique case. The Koma brothers specifically speak in an accent associated with the Nagano prefecture, which is one of Japan's more rural areas. This is why they punctuate sentences with zura, as it's a part of the local dialect which roughly translates to right, or doesn't it? Similarly, their catchphrase, monge, is a regional exclamation from the Okayama prefecture. In English, instead of saying zara, they speak in an American Southern accent as well as occasionally proclaiming countryisms.
Huh? Well, butter my behind and call me a biscuit. Komajiro makes less sense than a dress on a donkey.
Monge is also replaced with the more unique and personal, oh my swirls.
Oh my swirls!
The last mascot yokai is Usapion, who has the verbal tic Dani. This tic seems to be completely nonsensical, not relating to his species or his home. It's just a random sound to make him seem cuter. This verbal tic did, however, become the inspiration for Usapion's name when he was alive in the English version, Danny. His English voice drops this tic in favor of the extensive use of obscure countryisms.
I reckon if I impersonated an alien, then you'd have helped me, but I guess I done called this one wrong. Aliens talk funny.
Moving on to some side character examples, Kaden often makes the sound Ming Ming during text boxes and occasionally when speaking. as it's the Japanese onomatopoeia for the sound that cicadas make. English doesn't really have an exact equivalent, as their sounds are referred to with more general terms like singing, buzzing, or chirping. Due to this, Kaden still says Ming Ming in the English versions. Dismeralda punctuates her sentences with jubon, which is a word referring to the underlayers worn with some Japanese garments such as kimonos.
そう言われましても女王。私には私の事情がある女王。
In English, the anime and the games went in different directions. In the anime, she often ends sentences with no filter.
There's no dispute, he doesn't love me anymore, no filter.
In the games, however, she instead refers to people with the term darling in these instances, which makes her come across as more sassy. Her husband, in contrast, Happier, simply says Bona in Japanese, a play on his Japanese name, Honabona. This name, in turn, is based on the Japanese phrase meaning heartwarming. Spoilerina is actually one of the more interesting examples, as they translate her tic the most literally. In Japanese, she often ends her sentences with Rina.
ってあなた知ってるって言いながらいつも妖怪パッドでカンニングしてるのバレバレねんな。
In English, she doesn't always end her sentences with Rina, but will end certain words with it when it makes the most sense.
I've been around for a long time, Nate Arena, and this is the first time I've been outlasted. I'm impressed, Arena, by you, young man.
Compare this approach to one of her colleagues, Poofessor, who simply ends his sentences with Koma, which means bear, having no English equivalent.
それを今から説明するクマ。
Yokai Watch 1's main antagonist, Chairman McCracken, often ends his sentences with Janaika, which is a unique way to say is that right or isn't it? Similar to the Koma brothers' Zura. The reason this word is chosen in particular is because Ika is the word for squid in Japanese, making this a squid pun. In the English version of the game, McCracken simply resorts to frequently using squid or octopus puns, most infamously during his introductory cutscene.
We'll show them we're not squidding. This is our chance to octopi the human realm.
But the side series and spin-offs have some great examples too, such as Junior from Yokai Watch Shadow Side. Junior often likes to end his sentences with daze, which is meant to be masculine and assertive, kind of like saying, yeah, that's right. This term gives great contrast between his very cute design and spunky attitude. In contrast, Momo the flying squirrel from Y School Heroes uses the term desune, which means right or isn't it, at the end of sentences.
痛いですね。痛いですね。
This version of the phrase makes him sound more cute and innocent, which pairs well with his speaking pattern being in the third person. Susan from Yokai Watch Forever Friends ends his sentences with gozaru, a term often used by samurai and other noblemen in media to communicate their position or honorability. This, in turn, acts as a great piece of foreshadowing for Susan's role in the story. And the last example for today, Eyepo. Eyepo is the NPC yokai you talk to in order to save your game or rearrange your party members in the mainline games. In Japanese, they were only ever able to say variations of their own name, Kewpie. In the English versions, however, Eyepo is granted the ability to speak in full sentences, erasing this entire character trait. Eyepo in general is a bit of a mysterious character who isn't befriendable, never properly speaks in canon, and isn't really grouped with any other yokai in any situation. It's a shame they never really leaned into Eyepo's allure. And that's all my examples for today. What's your favorite Yokai Watch verbal tic? Do you think these tics were adequately translated? Make sure to let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye, my lonely watchers.